Alright, Shalom. I want to start off with giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Rakakadash, the bonus to the and apostle of great Muslim Shalom to Filek. Hope this video will be edifying, and let's get into it. So, let's start off with the book of Sirach, chapter 11, and verse 14. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. You see, so the Most High can make you rich. He can make you poor. He can make you. He can put you in on a high status in the world. He can also put you in at a low status in the world. He can give you something. He can take away from you from something. He can heal you, but he can also wound you. He can take away someone, a beloved or a dear beloved of you, but he can also restore that person or restore that kind of importance, replace it, so to say. You see, so the Most High Yahweh Shai, he does all these things. So keep your focus on Yahweh Shai because he can pick you up if you're in trouble, if you need help, if you need whatever. For whatever you need, you're supposed to go to the Lord Yahweh Shai. Right? So this 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 7. The Lord Yahweh Shai make it poor and make it rich. He bring it low and lift it up. You see, so he makes poor, and he makes rich. One you have ex NBA players or ex pro athletes, right? That received millions in their prime of their career. They had a lot of money and now they dirt poor. They broke because they didn't have the skills to manage that type of money. But ultimately it's Yahbashim Ashai, right? That put that in their spirit to just spend all of it and don't invest and all that kind of stuff, right? So what happened, all those millions, they blew away, man. So they were at a high status. They knew they were high at one point of time, high status, eating the best food, drinking the best wine, whatever, man, the best cars, best houses and stuff like that. And now they're begging on the streets, or now they're poor, barely making any income. That's what the Most High really can do to you. In the same way how he can make someone that's poor very rich the next day. It's just that's nothing is impossible with Yahweh Shai. You see, so he is doing everything. He's in control of everything. You see, ain't no Satan doing what he wants and stuff like that. Nah, man, it's Yahweh Shai that controls everything. And if Satan wants to do something, the Most High Yahweh Shai gives him he needs to get the green light from Yahweh Shai before he does something. He needs to get the allowance. You see, so verse 8. He raised up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are of the Lord Yahweh by Shai. And he had set the world upon them. You see, so the Most High can make someone that's begging on the streets the next day. He's sitting at a very high seat, sitting like a prince. Having a bunch of wealth, riches. Having the wealth of a nobleman or a royal person like that. That's all. That the Most High can do something like that. You see. It's easy with the Most High to do something like that because he is the one that gives you riches and can also take away riches from you. Remember what happened with King Solomon. King Solomon, he asked for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and what the Most High was so pleased with his answer that he gave him more than that. He gave him riches. King Solomon didn't even ask for all that. You see. So let's go back to Sirach chapter 11 and verse 14. Prosperity and prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. The gift of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. There is that waxeth rich by his weariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he said, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods. And yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others, Slakia, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Be steadfast in thy covenant, and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. You see, so there's one that don't think like everything you worked hard for, all of a sudden now you can rest. Like the Most High can just take away what you worked so hard for. You have, for example, you have these millionaires, Rick Ross, for example, right? He has all these millions and stuff like that. He talking about some, yeah, I'm a create a bunker. He said he's gonna create a bunker for when when if there's war, then he's protected basically. But that don't work like that, man. Proverbs. Let me see. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. Let me see. Where's that scripture at? It's in Proverbs. I believe it's Proverbs 8. So this is Proverbs 11 and 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. You see, so riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. You see, so that's why it's important to follow Yahweh Shemashai. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If the Most High wants you gone, you're gonna die. Simple as that. If judgment has to come your way, it's gonna come your way. It doesn't matter how rich you are. There is no respect of persons with Yahweh Shemashai. Like the scripture says, I believe it's in Romans, where it says there's no respect of persons with the Most High. So let's continue. People thinking they worked hard for their money, and now they gonna enjoy the fruit of their labor. You ain't gonna enjoy, man. A horrible time is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming. World War III is coming. Jacob's trouble, a time that has never been upon planet Earth. So it's worse than slavery, worse than all the atrocities that happened upon planet Earth thus far. It's gonna be worse than that, man. People, cannibalism is gonna be at an all-time high in those times, because there won't be no supermarket, there won't be no stores open anymore. You know, all that is gonna stop, man. People gonna have to hunt for their food, and most people they won't even get food, man. That's why the scripture says in Isaiah, "My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty." Roughly paraphrasing, you see. So these people gonna suffer, man. These people gonna suffer. Meanwhile, the men of the Lord, the ones that, the elect, the ones that followed Yahweh Shemashai in truth and sincerity, they gonna be protected and they gonna be good in those days, man. Um, Let's see. Verse 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai on the sudden to make a poor man rich. You see, so it's easy. It's easy for the Most High to do that, to make someone that's poor rich, but also to make someone that's rich poor. You see, because it comes from him anyway. Verse 22. The blessing of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my servants surface, and what good thing shall I have hereafter? Again say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? Right? So don't be like, oh yeah, I have this and I have that, so nothing is gonna happen to me. Oh yeah, my house is good. I have the biggest house, the biggest village. The security is airtight. This, that, such and such. All that don't matter, man. Don't say those things because you don't know what can happen with you. The most I can. It doesn't matter what kind of security you have, what kind of house you have. He can make something spark up in your gas, in your gas. Uh, 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 um, tube, whatever, in your house, in your kitchen, and blow that bitch up, man. You see, and now your whole house is on fire. So things like that can happen, man. Like the I believe it was a series or a movie, Final Destinations. There's thousand ways to die, man. Choose one. Well, there's 1 million, even more than 1 million ways to die. Choose one. You see, nothing is impossible with Yahweh Shemashai. You see, so um verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity, right? Because when you go through shit, you forget about all the good times you had because you're going through shit right now. You see? And let me read it again. In the day of prosperity, there is forgetfulness of affliction. And also, when you when things are going good, you forget about um what it was like when times were bad. You see? So let me get Luke real quick. Let me get Luke real quick. This Luke chapter 12 and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possessed. You see, so it like your life doesn't depend or consist of it don't make you better if you have all these possessions, man. It doesn't matter. The most high Yabashim he ain't looking at all that. You see? Um let's go back to verse 26. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord Yabashim in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. You see, so what you reap is what you sow. If you reap if you sow uh uh if you reap it's like you reap what you sow, right? If you sow bad things, don't think you're gonna reap good things, man. You know, if you have been disobedient, you've been rebellious, you didn't want to listen, you had that YOLO mentality, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do what I want, I ain't gonna listen to the scriptures, this, that, such and such. Well, that's gonna be the reason why you die, man. You reap what you sow. That's what it is. Verse 27: the afflictions of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deed shall be discovered. So yeah, man, showing you also, like, when you go through when you go through stuff, you forget about all the things that the Most High, for example, did for you, man, or how he fixed you up. You see, so that's why it's important to check yourself and not forget, like, hey, yes, I'm going through this right now, but the Most High also fixed me up back in the days, so He can do it now as well, as long as you just accept whatever the Most High put upon your path, like the scripture says in Sirach 2. Um, um, Whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Right? Take it patiently, man. Just be patient. You know. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Rakakadash, the one of the us and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to the Hope this video was edifying. Shalom.